old enough to drink. John had the bartender throw him out, and they left pretty ticked off. They came back the next night and tried to steal the cash register from the front of the bar. But John was sitting in the back. He slams down his beer, and he goes over and he starts beating these guys up, right to the floor. A couple of gunshots went off. John got grazed in the neck. The bullet landed behind him in the wall. So Ron, just first and foremost, people do not like to be filmed, and they definitely don't like to...
There we go. Okay. You got some music. I wanted the camera originally. The camera has some weight to it. Is it hauntings?
I don't know. I'm staying next to you because it records audio, so he'll be able to listen to it later. I heard wild and iron. Eliza, what happened to your home?
Ooh, there's just some orbs. Or maybe that's a light from this car. Wait, can he not see us? He had the entire parking lot to himself. Some cement here.
All right, you two, talk to me. What have we got coming out of that thing?
I heard wild, iron, and love.
Wild, iron, love. That's kind kind of kinky, right?
And then a car came in,
Turned around.
and Sophie said, I see an orb. She was like, oh, I think it's the headlights. And this thing goes, yeah.
Those are real-time moments. Those are personal to you only. But yeah, there's sometimes cars come in here and just turn around. Sometimes they come in and they're like, why are you videotaping? So that's why I say watch the video cameras.
Right.
People definitely
Sure.
don't get parked. But
Okay.
you've heard 3 terms out of that thing so far, which is actually really good. So again, it's not easy to listen to that guy because you never know when it's going to pop up with something. That one's completely random. Hers, she's just getting words and words and words and words, and she's trying to pick and choose what to tell me. So with yours, it doesn't give us all of that
Right.
because it's taking it all out.
Okay.
But yeah, the camera isn't always a real-time catch for me. Like, I don't always follow up with this particular camera in real time because it's so small. I send all the splice videos to YouTube so you guys can watch them however you want. I watch them on a pretty large computer screen, so that way I turn it on mute and I just focus on the visuals. For every 5 minutes that's recorded, I watch 1 full minute. So again, that's my spot check. So it will take me anywhere between 8 to 25 minutes, depending on how long the video is.
Okay.
And I do that with every piece of media, except for the last piece of media that we're going to be doing separately at the end. So we'll kind of see how that goes.
Okay.
You guys are obviously getting the gist of how this guy works, which is awesome.
And this is recording audio as well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So have it recording?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, if you're ever unsure, obviously watch the timer, or there's a blinker on the front of the face.
Okay.
And this little red dot right here as well, right?
That's the recording dot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I usually watch the timer. If the timer's moving, you're good. A lot of times I'll look over and just see if it's blinking or if it's steady. If it's steady, you're not recording. But the front of it, if it's blinking, you're good.
All right.
All right. Also, let me know if you start to see any flickering as we kind of move along,
Okay.
which means the top is starting to die, and we can just plug it in. We can change it from the camera over to the light itself, so that
Okay.
way we don't lose the lighting.
Okay.
So that'll happen probably later on, if it does happen at all.
Okay.
So you guys got this.
All
Let's see what
right.
you guys are on. All right, Grant, what do you got?
Said love it.
I heard ready.
I heard love it. Do I turn off the camera once we move to another space? Is that what you were doing? Okay.
Tell me what you hear too. Like just
It's
sort of just.
mostly static.
But occasionally words come through.
You got any readings?
Love?
You said love or hello.
It sounded like music.
It's all very below. And I think kind of spring surfing like it goes.
You're on it. You're shooting bar. You're good. I love it. Victoria, you got anything?
Have you ever heard like not just words but actually sounds? Like in your ear? It sounds. Have you ever had a heartbeat in your ear?
I know what you're talking about.
I heard cool.
I guess I'm deaf. I cannot.
Maybe we switched the right camera. It's like
It's just the.
Eliza, what happened to your home?
I don't.
No.
Alright, Ron, anything else on there?
Yeah, I said again, I asked what happened to your home, and I got a very clear I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little hesitant tonight as far as what you guys are hearing. Nothing on your grid? Alright, I'm going to wrap this one up just based on the messages you guys are getting.
Sure.
Oh, we only have one set of lights on. Let's turn them both on.
Yep.
Okay.
Unless you did that.
I did
No,
that.
oh,
I did
you
that
did?
to save batteries, but
Oh.
I'll
That's
leave
what the
both
battery pack is attached for.
okay.
Alright.
Are we?
Let's bring it back in.
Okay.
Come on, Victoria.
You gotta turn it off?
You can stop recording, I think.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Again, if anybody's starting to come by,
as
just point it directly at the ground.
Okay.
we were leaving the last one, it was Pasture Grave and Victoria Wade or Victoria Wave.
So it had your name in it for sure.
Yeah, it was definitely my name. And it was as we were leaving.
So give me the last 3 words on yours.
Slam, population, and 4.
Grant, just so you know, the baseline for this location is going to be between 5 and 7 because of the lampposts.
Okay.
So I'm looking at over that 7.0.
Okay.
Alright, so let's huddle up. Let's go over to
Oh,
the
honey,
location.
we're huddling up.
Yeah, watch, there's a little bit of cubs down here. So we're definitely going to keep that spirit box on mute, if you don't mind, Ron, while we're in here until we leave the space. So other tours will come through here. When they do, we'll just kind of split the seas. I don't foresee it happening. I don't actually see any tours out tonight. It's Wednesday. You guys are the weirdos for the night, just so you know, in case you were wondering where they were all at. But anyway, this is Philadelphia Alley. This is used to be called Duelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. So when I say some, it's because dueling was illegal. So they actually had to find hiding spots to go and duel it out. So every ghost tour comes down here, tells you the same story. But I tell it differently because we're not campfire marshmallow type of tour, right? So we're ghost hunting. We need a little bit more detail. So I give you some of those specific details. So let's just get right into it.
Pool.
I got tell.
Pull and tell. And then the I'm in pain thing makes sense, but not fully. Like, that's pretty vague stuff. Because I think half of us have some kind of eye pain or back pain going on.
Yeah.
So,
My feet are killing me.
Yeah.
Me too.
So, there's a doctor that moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. If you hear brown-eyed girl while we're down here, it's not coincidence. It's part of his name.
Okay.
So, anyway, which, by the way, just so you know, we do have a Remy that runs around here. So, if you're kind of getting my point, like, we do have a rat that lives in this general vicinity, and he's about this big. So, just don't be frightened if he comes right behind you. while you're
Sounds
sitting.
like he's out here.
I saw a chipmunk, or what looked like a chipmunk.
Yeah, he's
Might
not
have
a
been-
chipmunk, that's a rat. So anyway, Dr. Ladd, he moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with this cash flow. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money, so he tells Amanda, get rid of the doctor. So he comes to Charleston. He's proving that he's not just after her money. He's going to start his medical practice down here. The coachman that brought him into town set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a good start to his stay in Charleston. Somebody was walking by and seeing what was about to happen. His name was Ralph Isaacs. I stop on Ralph because he has the same initials as where the doctor came from. R.I. Doctor came from Rhode Island. So we have that Ouija board device. This is the location of why I bought it. We were getting R.I. all the time on Victoria's device, so I decided, why don't we just get the exact letters to make sure we're getting exactly what we think we're getting. We have had it up to 5 times in the past 6 months as I'm mentioning this part of the story. Anyway, back to Ralph. He tells the doctor,
Oh,
There he is.
he's enormous.
Do you see him?
Oh my
called
god.
yeah, we're disturbing him at this point.
So can we film him?
Yeah,
Just
well,
kidding.
it's funny is I use the SLS camera too, which is the stick man. So every once in a while we'll get little legs that will run across.
Oh
the
my
way.
god.
But anyway,
It just said every time. When it
it is pretty much on a nightly basis. And so Ralph tells the doctor, dude, you don't want to stay here. He's like, I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me, and we're going to stay. I'm going to take you to 59 Church Street. You can rent a room from there. And you okay, buddy?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right. You can rent a room from these friends of mine, and you'll be good to go. The doctor took him up on the offer. They became friends. The longer the doctor stays here in Charleston, the more money he's making. He's proving his point that he's not after Amanda's money. Amanda gets wind of this, and she's moving down so they can get married. I just told you it's funny because I just told you this is like a great wedding venue place. But anyway, he becomes known as the Whistling Doctor. I'm going to tell you that every haunted city you will ever visit has a cliched whistling ghost. We all have one, just so you know. But there's actually proof of this one. I'm going to get to that. Anyway, Ralph and the doctor go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. Just the hierarchy of Charleston, he gets better seats. So they talk about the plays on the way home. And one night they go see Richard III from Shakespeare, and they're arguing over the new actress that was in town. The doctor thought she was great, Ralph didn't. The argument gets really heated when Ralph is insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. Something just dropped over there. So they obviously get very angry with each other and they go their separate ways. I told you Ralph is somewhat from here, so he has friends at the newspaper. He goes and puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of mentality. Dr. Ladd saw the ad but rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this and somebody's going to die. So they came down, they took their 10 paces, they turned, the doctor pointed his gun in the air, and he shot. He did not want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage and bravery to show up to the fight. But Ralph has his one bullet. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Dr. Ladd doesn't die, but Ralph proved his point that he still takes off. So, there goes the cat, by the way. There goes Tom. He's going to go find the mouse. I could see
Oh,
a bit of
there it
a-
is. It's just running around on the top of the fence.
Yeah, we get them over here, too.
Gross.
So, just so you know.
How many are there?
There's a couple of them.
Okay.
Welcome to Charleston. They actually, we don't see
It's
that
a
in
city
the summertime.
thing. It's a city
Yeah, but
thing.
we don't see them. We only see them like in late winter, like early spring.
Oh.
So I would say down in the summertime, we won't see them down here at all.
Okay.
It said 800. That was
That's how many there are?
800 of them. They're multiplying like rats. But anyway, so his doctor's friends picked him up, they carried him home and took him to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later, November 2nd of 1786. So, he also refused medical treatment during those 10 days that he was back at his home at 59 Church Street because he's a doctor. And remember that bullet wounds were not the same in 1786 as they are now. So again, he probably tried to bleed out the lead poisoning himself. So every tour will tell you to listen for the whistles while you're down here. It is always this quiet, even inside of the afternoon.
It's just a rat. It's okay. It's okay.
So,
Sorry. If it was a roach, this would be over. I'd be gone.
like
No.
meadow bugs?
yeah, we
Like
get
what-
palmetto bugs.
I know you do, but not a lot, right? Well, we're in the
No,
South.
a lot. Like this is.
This is the South, I remember, yeah.
It's like
I'm
our
from
state
Florida.
bird, Like.
Yeah, we don't call them cockroaches. They're palmetto
Oh,
bugs.
God. Okay, just don't show me one if you see one, because I will have a stroke.
Fair enough. So it's always this quiet, just so you know. But we're using a video camera plus my voice recorder. You don't need to listen to it audibly. But what I will tell you is if you're going to try this on your own and use your own voice recorders when you walk through here and listen to it later, just keep in mind every local knows this story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland Street or Queen Street throws a whistle down this alley. So I do it every single night because we just passed my garage where I park now. So again, I always pass the alley, especially since I got thrown out of here. That's the fun part of the story. Let's get into that. So this alley didn't always go all the way through this way. There was a wall, cut it off. The reason why is because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. So it was called Cow Alley before it was Dueler's Alley. So that means the bricks on that side, which by the way, we got some people walking by here. You might want to just go over and I don't know where they're going. But those bricks down there are older than the bricks we're standing on now. Those bricks are sun-dried bricks from slave children. So there's a full handprint from a slave child at the end of that alley, along with some fingerprint swipes at the end. I used to take my group all the way through and go show them that handprint, just because I'm all about the history. We all need to see it. However, I treat that brick the same way I do a grave. That kid's not staring at that brick. November 26th of 2020, my entire team of 10 is huddled around that brick waiting for something to happen. I'm trying to shoo them along because I know nothing's going to happen, and it's outside the kitchen window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm just trying to be respectful, not knowing I was actually out of bounds. I'm not allowed to take people down that far. So, it's residential. So, the new neighbor came out, he's screaming. My daughter thought it was great because Dad's getting yelled at, and we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving. The reason why? I worked in retail management, mainly for Walmart, for 20 plus years. So you guys understand, I'm never working Thanksgiving another day in my life. So, the next day was November 28th.
Probably have PTSD, don't you?
I know, don't even get me started on Black Friday. But anyway, and I worked in upper management, so it wasn't like I was just one of the lackeys on the floor. Like I was the guy running the whole show. So, yeah, I was that guy. But at any rate, with that, November 28th, I talked to my partner that I had at the time and told him what happened. He said, you can't take people down that far. You're only allowed to go down halfway. So either take them halfway or reroute your group. So I went, well, damn it. That was kind of going to another story that I can't tell anymore because I had to cut through the neighborhood. So I told my tour that night, I don't believe in the next story because nothing's ever happened there that I've seen. And I'm also a vampire guy. I'm not a pirate person. So we'll see what happens. Before we left, somebody heard the name Anne on a spirit box. I did not tell them who we are going to be investigating. The famous female pirate Anne Bonny. So
I took a pirate course in college.
well, then you'll be able to check my accuracy at the next location. So when we get up to the next location, I tell them what little bit I did know about piracy, because again, I had to do some quick
Didn't she
research.
hide as a male for a long time?
Yeah, don't repeat the punchline, man.
Okay.
So anyway, somebody else heard the number 300, and I didn't know what that meant, so I wrote it down. So the next day, I'm doing the research. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300th anniversary of the pirate trial. So, oh shit, now I gotta keep learning about pirates. My problem with pirates and being an English guy, having a master's degree in creative writing, is it's pirate lore. So nothing is ever entirely accurate. So everything we're gonna discuss at the next location came from a minimum of 2 different resources, just so you know. So again, I don't play around. I wanted to make sure we had as much factual data as the hell away from these rats, and we go learn about pirates. If you want to listen along the way, Ron, please do so. Get that thing cranked up. You got anything going on over there, Silas?
I got, just doctor.
You got doctor? Can't make this stuff up, folks. Again, that's me excited, in case you were wondering. You got clinic?
And I got hope. Hope earlier when I was walking around.
Yeah.
I got
Nice.
hope coming in pretty
All right,
quick.
well, grab your gear, Silas. Let's,
Well, I hope we don't see either.
Cool.
Everybody feeling okay? Everybody got any heart palpitations, headaches, anything going on?
I'm a little nervous for the first time.
My muscles are getting a little tight.
Okay. All right. Just let me know if anything changes. So, the reason why I ask is, when you get a warning like that, like can't be here, I kind of have to start asking questions. We might not have any EMF spikes that are causing that, but again, I've had young ladies that have not been able to enter the space at all. I mean, their heart was pounding, they couldn't breathe, those kind of things. Just kind of keep an eye on those things. So, anything else along the way coming out of yours?
Nope, just spider or tiger.
A cry? Like a
Somebody crying?
moaning? Like a
Wow. Okay, you might want to give yourself a break for a few minutes, because this history at this location is a little twisted. So, if you're feeling a little anxious, all of that extra thing is not going to help. So let's kind of let your brain wind down for a few minutes. It's still recording, so no worries. You got yours up and running?
Yep.
All right, perfect. Any crazy readings coming out of you in this location?
Yes, sir. What's the
So
threshold?
I will tell you, with this location, we don't always get super high EMF.
Okay.
And if we do get anything, we have 2 electrical poles in the corners
Okay.
and parking meters on the other side.
So
Again, so this front half, this way, I don't always get super excited when people give me readings. It's normally the back. Folks, if we get readings back there over 2.5, even a 3, I'm excited, because that means something is going on.
this was 2.5 right now, but because we're close.
It is getting off enough over here to make it go up to 2.5. And you will get anywhere between like 3 to 5.
Okay.
The 5 to 7 with the lamppost is because literally the wire
It's got a
is
little
right
flash.
next to us. We're still probably 20, 25 feet away.
No,
from
in
the
the camera.
So, anyway, we're here because of this little tiny building right here. By the way, anybody want to sit down or need to sit down? Like, this is a safe spot where there's no rats. Just so you guys know.
Oh, I'm not worried about rats. Okay. I'm worried about this guy to walk away again.
We're not going.
I just got crystal.
What'd you get?
I got crystal.
Crystal.
Got December.
That's interesting. Why would you hear the word December when we're in the middle of April? Interesting. So, we're here because this building, by the way, those are not crosses on that building, those are earthquake bolts. So if you don't know what earthquake bolts are, they're basically turnbuckles. So in the event we have another earthquake, like what we did in 1886 that I mentioned before, you can turn those turnbuckles and it's supposed to tighten the building back up so that way it doesn't incur any further damage. It's a great idea, it just doesn't work. The only reason I bring these ones up specifically is because it's part of the reason why we're here. These were the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston ever put in, because this is the oldest government building in South Carolina. So it was finished in 1713. We're here because this building was being constructed at the exact same time that Anne Bonny was coming here to start her new life. You okay over there, Victoria?
Yeah.
Okay, so give your ears a break.
I just turned it down.
Okay. So this building took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government? Small building, 10 years?
Yeah.
No, not at all. But if you're into the architecture, I'll give you some links in your guys' notes tomorrow, because the architecture of this building is absolutely fascinating. The way it was designed and the exact pinpointed location of where it is. So you guys haven't been taking other history tours. to know like about our Charlestown walls that we had, but this is exactly the street where the wall stood, which means the powder magazine is just inside the walls, the furthest it could possibly be away from the water, so that way it doesn't get attacked by Revolutionary warships or from pirate ships. So again, there's more to it than that, but I'm not going to get into it. So people get bored with architecture, even though this one's fascinating. But 10 years to build, our history begins right in the middle of that building. You're taking a lot of deep breaths. You okay?
Yeah.
You sure?
So I just heard evil and warning.
I heard it.
I got truck.
Struck?
Truck.
Truck. Well, pirates wouldn't know what a truck is.
Must have meant like a truck. Two trucks.
Can I take a look at your word list? Let me see what's going on. Because I'm getting a little worried about, because I'm seeing a lot of like very deep breaths coming out of you.
What I like to call ghosts is just mess her up and just move things.
Did you get anything else coming out of yours?
No, it's silent now.
Okay.
Me too.
Because it's a heavy feeling.
Do we need to go?
No, I'm good.
Because I'm gonna say we got
No,
more
no,
spaces to go
I'm
to.
good. I'm
I'm
good.
getting a little heavy.
All right, so 1708 is where the history begins. A young lady from Ireland moves here named Anne Cormac. She comes here with her father and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Are you with me so far?
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of twists here, as I'm sure you already know. 3 of them are running away from her father's angry wife. You guys got that? All right, pieces. How angry was that wife, by the way, that they had to leave the country by boat? Because again, it's 1708. There's no planes. So, we land in Georgetown. It's just north of here, between us and Myrtle Beach. So, Dad bought a plantation. Mom died pretty quickly. That means he's sending young Anne down here to be able to sell anything from the plantation to help keep things afloat. We don't have many buildings around town. So, again, this is a hit or miss location. We're either going to have a lot going on or nothing going on at all. So, anyway, back home in
Go
Ireland.
slow. I heard C and awesome. Move the camera slowly.
So the word sea could also be like SEA.
Mhm.
They were talking pirates.
Okay.
Open
miles of greenery.
judgment.
Miles of greenery. Just told you that they bought a plantation in Georgetown.
That's exactly when it said it.
Interesting.
I got judgment and opening.
Judgment is good because we're going to be talking about a judgment very shortly. Alright, so back home in Ireland, Anne was said to be a badass even back then. They say when she was 7, 8, 9 years old, she killed a servant with a knife to the belly. We have gotten the terms servant, knife, and belly in this location, but I'm just giving you the mentality of this young lady as we kind of go through her story. Fast forward, the building's done in 13. Pirates are starting to come through Charlestown in 1715. Anne is stoked. Why? She's going to fall in love so that way she can earn her freedom just like a man. So, first guy she falls in love with. Again, this is why I'm kind of like, all right, let's get through the interruptions because there's a lot that goes on with this story. It can be lengthy. And I said first guy she falls in love with is because there's a handful and we're going to go through them all. His name is James Bonney. You already see where this one's going? There's the pirate name, right? So Dad didn't approve because he's a filthy pirate. They ran away to Jamaica. They got married. Anne Cormac is now Anne Bonny. That's where the name comes from. However, James Bonney is not Captain Jack Sparrow like what she was hoping. This guy turns out to be a privateer. He's a spy for the British. This is not who she wants. He's a coward. So she falls in love a few years later. This is John Rackham, a.k.a. Calico Jack. So Calico Jack is the guy they based your Johnny Depp character off of. So you guys have an idea of who Rackham is.
Didn't know that. But it makes sense now.
Oh yeah, that's who they based it off of. So Calico Jack has his own ship and wants to be part of it. You can't put a girl on a pirate crew. Does anybody know why?
Bad luck.
It's bad luck. Thank you for keeping it family friendly. So, I get a lot of bad answers to that question. But anyway, he makes a deal with her. If you dress like a guy, you can look like the crew, and you'll be part of it. But you're going to be a female in my quarters. She's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland, so that way his wife couldn't find her. So she's okay with the dressing like a guy thing. But let's put 2 and 2 together. She's a female in his quarters. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You cannot have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a girl. Then they're going to vote Jack off as captain. So he drops her off in Cuba. So, go have the baby over here, come back later, we'll figure it out. She goes and has the baby, but returns with no baby. No amount of my research has ever found what has happened to this child. The other weird thing about when she comes back is she's dressed like a girl. Now, everybody's going to know that Jack led a female on the ship. This makes Jack angry, and while she was gone giving birth, he actually captured another pirate crew. They're down below deck. She's going to go flirting because that's who Anne is. We're on guy number 3. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack captured. Now we have Mary Reed. That's what her name was. She went by the name Mark Reed to become a pirate. Yeah, that's another tour.
Oh, okay.
They always stop in the front.
Okay.
So that's why I always stay out of their way, just so you know. That's why we're kind of on the side. Not to mention when I have 10 people, we can spread out and hopefully capture Anne Bonny.
Okay.
You know, things going on. But anyway, so Mary Reed is obviously a female. They became friends, possibly lovers. We're not going to really know for sure. But the British found out where they are. They send a fleet of ships to come take down one pirate ship. So Anne and Mary, the rumor is that they were the only 2 pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with their 1-bullet flintlocks. Probably because they didn't know how to use cannons yet. So 2 ladies with flintlocks are not going to take on a whole fleet of ships. Why is it so loud over here tonight? Normally I have like a nice calm, whatever. But anyway, obviously they can't take on the whole fleet of ships. They get arrested. As they're being arrested, Anne and Mary, well, Anne looks at Jack and says basically, Jack, I'm so sorry to see you here, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog. The word dog shows up here a lot, just so you guys know. The judge wants to see the 2 quote-unquote men that fought back so valiantly on their own. He's already tried to hung Calico Jack prior, so they're dead and gone. Anne and Mary go in front, and they reveal their gender. He doesn't care that they're female. He's still going to hang them because they're still pirates. We plead our bellies was the last thing they shouted because you can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. So he sends them both back to jail. Dad is up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He bails out Anne, brings her home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4, because we're going to count Mary because we don't really know. She has 4 kids and dies at the age of 84. Again, this is also colonial times. 84 is 14 years past where Eliza lived. So, don't know. Nobody knows.
When you said that, it said guys.
Interesting. Now that's interesting to something else around this corner. There's literally like 15 stories around this corner.
I got answer to them.
The judgment piece. No, you're good. You're good. So as far as Mary Reed goes, she died a few months later in April. We're actually getting the 5th. Whatever pirates died from in Jamaican jail. Use your imagination. So most books would tell you that it was something simple like fever. Let's make it romantic. Let's call it scurvy. Why the hell not? So it's a Jamaican jail. We don't know what the hell happened in there. So you guys know how to ask questions by now. So,
In the book, he has both of them on the boat, and he has no problem putting them together because he thinks, well, he knows one's female and one's male. Right? He catches one cheating with the other, right? And he's about to kill him, and at the last minute, it's a she, and that just takes him completely by. He's dumbfounded, and they're like, well, if you kill her, we'll out the whole thing. Right. So then the 2 of them ganged up on him. Now he's
I know
stuck.
the whole story.
Okay.
I
want to say, am I getting that right?
Most of it.
Okay.
From what I've read in between all the lines, but again, when I have little ones, I try to keep all of that. Yeah, and not to mention the story's long to begin with. So again, I keep it very brief and like pinpoints. Get the stuff that you guys need to know to investigate.
But they outsmarted him.
Yeah, they did.
I got
in the legal system.
I got answer to them in Fatal.
And I'm sure that Fatal is going to be relevant to every space. So the questions that I left out on purpose just to get you guys started so you guys have something to work with. I left out the name of Anne Bonny's parents. You can ask what those are. I also left out the name of Calico Jack's ship, the city in Ireland where she grew up, and the color of her hair. Those are common questions that we get the answers to here. We'll know within 5 minutes if we have something going on here just based on what you guys are hearing. So again, there's like 15 stories around this corner. So again, I kind of have to that dies of cancer is relevant to another story, so I'm waiting for another clue so I can explain that one to you. I don't bring up those other stories unless they're telling me to tell you if that gives you the hint. So if he hears something specific and then we have something over here, I'm like, okay, that is relative to this person that's over here or over there. You guys get the point. But yeah, we're going to spread out in this location. We're going to be listening in. Other tours are going to be looking at you weird, Ron, just because you're listening to white noise. So you guys get the point. You guys have already been working, so let's get scrambling around. Let's see what yeah, we're just going to stay right in here. We've only got one vehicle in here, so that's kind of nice for us in here tonight. Okay. Saturday nights we kind of have to fight with the church. Tide is good.
Really, I want to be further on this side.
Further on the back, right? If you get anything at all. I see you typing on. Hide?
Hiding.
Ooh, tell him that. Make sure you tell him that. Okay.
Then, I had switch high.
You want to ask it questions, honey?
I think we're using the wrong devices. Every time you say something, it's like it gives you a response.
And what color was your hair?
The color was her hair, yeah.
And what color was your hair?
Ashy?
Okay. And then, where were you born in Ireland?
So she asked, what color was your hair? And we got ash or ashy. And then Sophie asked, where were you born in Ireland? And we got 8.
And you heard December earlier on there too, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
So you should have this one. They like to talk to you more than they like to talk to them.
Yeah, that's why you guys work on it together.
Yeah.
I will tell you the weird thing is that the next location, December 8th, is a prominent date at that location for the person we're hunting down.
Okay.
But the month of December is also relevant to the person that died of cancer, where her husband is buried across the street.
Okay.
So again, until I have something a little bit more specific, like I know we have December 8th,
Mhm.
like that's very specific, but again, I want something else to kind of verify, like where is this supposed to go? Because we're 2.5 blocks away from the next location. I wouldn't expect that here.
Mhm.
Sometimes you get little clues like, hey, you need to move it along, I'm waiting.
Gotcha.
You know, I do get that from time to time.
Yeah, I just got 57 as well, if you didn't hear that.
Sure it wasn't 67?
It could have been. It sounded like 57 to me. You said go with what you hear first.
First thing.
And I heard 57.
Because the person died in 1867.
Okay.
That's why I said, sure it wasn't 60? Ashy, I don't know what that is. Her hair color was red.
That's what I figured. She's Irish.
Yeah, red hair, green eyes.
Yeah.
Flash.
Flash.
Point? Did you say flash point?
Last break is what I heard out of it.
I have terrible hearing.
They're talking to you. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, why am I holding the device?
So again, I mean, nothing so far has been relevant to Anne. Nothing.
Okay. We'll keep listening.
Yep.
Yeah, keep it up.
Okay.
Any readings out of there?
I come this way because that one guy's in his car.
I like this device though because it's quiet most of the time, and then just stuff comes out. The one that she had would be driving me crazy.
Oh yeah, that's too much information.
And what did you think of being a pirate? You ask.
Anne, what did you think of being a pirate?
Sounds like she was having a good time. I heard salty and tradition.
The worst hearing.
You see anything? You're not even looking at the screen.
Huh?
You're not even looking at the screen.
I'm asleep, that's why. I'm really tired. But yeah, I am looking at the screen. But he also said you wouldn't capture things real time.
And what was your relationship with Mary?
elevator.
Did you say elevated?
It's elevated.
Oh my goodness, what is my back gonna feel like tomorrow after one more night's sleep here?
No, I got the word elevated, but that's it.
That sounded like me. Like
No trade?
No, I like the camera. Also, I misinterpret every word. You're like, oh no, I heard this. Got the night fever. Is it answering anything? Nope, it doesn't seem like it's saying anything. And what color was your hair?
Sounds like I don't have to. I don't have to play right here. Answer that.
Heard green and 7. And blood.
Oh my god, I did not hear any of those things. I just heard.
I heard greenish 7 and blood.
Should I turn it off for the time being?
Sure.
Okay.
They're still relatively new. I've been doing this method long on the tour, so just kind of get a feel for those. You don't need to put any of this gear on
Okay.
until we come back.
Okay.
It doesn't always look good when I'm blindfolding people in the middle of a dark park, so just wait till we come back.
Okay.
These is a disposable blindfold.
Okay.
You open it up, it's 2-ply, so lift up on the centerpiece where the nose goes,
Okay.
and you'll be able to rip it. And what it does is it creates 2 loops that go over your ears. It's not going to go all the way around. So I will take the wrapper from that when we come back.
Okay.
But again, just kind of like we're only going to be gone like 2 or 3 minutes. It's a very quick history. And that way they kind of know who we're looking for and from you.
Okay.
And we'll come back and we'll give you some tips on how to answer back to us. Because there's a few things you'll need to know before we get started with it.
Okay.
All right, let's go learn some history, you guys. Ready?
Alright.
Let's go ahead and mute you up if you're not already muted. Other tours may come through here. It's pretty late because we got started late, so I don't expect anybody. But look around, guys. There's a million monuments in here. I didn't know what to expect first time I came in here in November. I change my tour up every day after Halloween is when I get started. So that way my repeat customers don't always see the same places every time. So I brought a small group in here and I said, let's just see what we can see and kind of get out of here. What we heard was the year 1828, the name Henry, and then the word Tim showed up on the word list that Silas has. So this is Henry Timrod, born in 1828. So very interesting piece.
I got happiness.
Happiness? Okay, again, you don't need to tell me every term. I'll come to
I
you.
just want to know if
All right.
it was.
Nope, nothing relevant.
He's super excited.
Yeah, I love it. I hate to keep telling him yeah, I got nothing on that one, buddy. But again, most of it's garbage. But anyway, Henry Timrod was a writer. So obviously he was old enough to go fight in the Civil War. So he goes out to the battlefield and he wants to service, the Confederate side. So his comrades realize he's too sick to fight because he was sick through most of his life. They sent him home and they said, go be the voice of the war. Go tell people what's going on out here. So he comes home and he starts writing poetry about what's going on in the battlefield. He becomes known as the Laureate of the Confederacy. So that's a pretty prestigious title to have, just so you guys know if you're not part of the writing world. But anyway, a few years go by and he has a son. You guys are going to know about the son, but she's not. So we're going to be asking questions about the son. His name was Willie. He was born on Christmas Eve, and he died 9 months later. Very tragic, as you can see. So he's only 9 months old. I don't know what the son died from. So a lot of people ask me that, and I just don't have that answer. So anyway, he's mourning. A few years go by. He's not writing as much as he was, and his college friend gets a hold of him and notices he's not writing and publishing as much. So he says, why don't you come out to my cottage, finish the piece you're supposed to be writing, and you can get away from the wife and all of the sad things about your son, Willie. So he takes him up on the offer. By the way, the wife's name was Katie. Sometimes I'll ask questions about Katie. He goes out there, and that's where he writes his last words. His last words were, beholder of brief mortality, basically person of short life. And then he coughs, and it lands on the page in a blood stain. Somebody heard the word blood before we left the other space? So again, with the guy's birthday of December 8th, so again, I'm kind of like, this is kind of weird. But at the same time, that blood stain is because he had tuberculosis. So, and then he dies right on the page. We call it the Blood Book. They show it one day a year at the Charleston Library Society, but you have to be a member of the society to go see it. And that day is on Halloween. However, the internet's beautiful. I'm going to show you what the page looks like, and then hopefully we're going to go get some answers out of Henry through, we're going to be channeling him through your wife. So, lucky us, right? So that, that blood book is very interesting, because again, that blood stain looks like a man writing over his desk.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Not to mention, to me, the whole story coming together of beholder of brief mortality was his last line, and then he dies right on the page. So again, this is the page they show every single year. Wow. And they have it under glass the whole 9 yards, so it's a big deal. So, but I believe you have to be a member of the society or pay quite a bit of money to be part of the society for that day to go see the damn book. But it is posted on the internet, of course it is. So, let's go channel Henry and let's go see what we can find out. Well, the reason I chose Mom is because she's been listening to it all night. She's kind of been trained for it at this point. So I don't normally pick people that haven't been listening to it all night. So what we're going to also do while we're doing this is we're going to huddle in pretty close, because again, blindfolding people in the middle of a park in the middle of the night doesn't always look good, and other people pass by here. You will keep footage on her, so that way that everybody can have the footage of the whole session. Nobody else has a camera out here tonight. I will ask you to keep yours muted if you don't mind, just during this session, just because we want to make sure what we're getting is coming straight from her. So for you, I'm going to be keeping an eye on your breathing. So if you start, especially since what happened to you earlier, how are you feeling right now?
Fine.
Okay, perfect. So the first thing is you don't need to shout. We can hear you. I want you to keep everything to a whisper. If we have neighbors nearby, if we get too loud, we don't want to be getting, you get it. So again, everything that you hear, you need to tell us in real time what you're hearing. You don't need to remember anything. Also, once you get everything on, so it's going to be blindfold, then earbuds, then the ear muffs. So once you get everything on, one of us will probably set your volume and then leave it alone. Don't touch the volume. We want to make sure you can't hear us.
Okay.
That's the whole point. So no matter how, tell us everything you're telling us.
Okay.
Whatever you hear, just spit it out. I think, by the way, when you're done, you're going to feel a little disoriented. Your eyes are going to have to adjust, which is another reason why I didn't give Grant this whole face, because I was like, he's not going to do well at the end of the night. So don't get up right away.
Okay.
So just kind of keep that in mind. Are you ready?
Yes, so we're just with these. I didn't want to tear them up, so...
Oh yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, just tear it right there in the center.
That's what I thought, but I just did not want to...
Yep. Also note that I will not write anything down during this, so that way I can keep track of what's going on, because I will use what she's telling me as part of questions. By the way, you can answer yes-nos if you hear them. You're not going to know what we're asking. This is probably the only instance where I'll use yes-no questioning. So again, she's never going to know if I'm using yes-no answers, so it's okay to answer those. Go ahead, you can pop them in.
I can take these for you.
She can. It's okay. I got it. It just messed up. I don't know what it did.
Xbox.
That's the machine. It's an S box. So she was listening to a recording earlier of whatever was on the SD card. That's what the screen was telling me.
Okay.
There's
That's
a kid.
Okay. Hello, Henry. What do you want to tell us about your son? Or are you noticing that there's a kid here with us tonight?
Tell everyone.
What do you...
Finally.
Okay, Henry, let's start off real simple. Tell us what your occupation was. What did you do for a living? I also timed this, guys, so 10 minutes will be the max. It's
Don't understand.
It's 11:17. All right, Henry, we've done this before.
Believe me. Ever taught.
So, Henry, let's slow down a little bit. Start
Guilty
off.
pleasures.
Tell us what you did for a living.
1,000. God.
She's actually really good at this. Henry, you mentioned the word kid earlier. What do you want to tell us about your son? Notice how she got real quiet.
Let's talk about
What was your son's name?
baby.
He was a baby. Can you tell us how old he was?
Dog died. Free.
I don't know anything about your dog. Let's go back to your son. What was his name?
The body's with me.
Yeah, you're correct. He's buried right next to him, just so you guys know, in Columbia.
Tonight, too. In the woods. Pray. Start taking.
Henry, Look,
Negative.
you're telling us a lot. Slow down. Slow down.
I'll get you up.
Henry,
People to see.
let's talk about your son. We were pretty focused on that. How old was your son?
Up ahead.
How old was your son when he passed away?
Terrain.
Can you tell us when he passed away? What was the date?
Loving arms.
Henry, what was the date of when your son died?
Back at it.
Yeah, we're back at it again. I'm trying to learn that you're actually here.
Less hay. More needles. That is the way to go.
Henry, let's move over to your wife. What was your wife's name?
Today. It was on purpose.
What do you want to tell us about your wife?
768.
Henry, what was her name? How did you meet her? You told us things about her the last time we did this. How did you meet your wife? He was
Special.
He was her teacher. Henry, how did you meet your wife?
Director.
Got bugs around you?
Yeah.
Henry, say the word director. Let's be more specific.
Happening to me.
Breathing's getting a little heavy.
Lessons. Chicken. No, no.
Henry, what
Enemy.
sound do we normally hear from the
Enemies.
church? What do we hear from the church?
Heart.
You tell us pretty much on a nightly basis. What do we hear that comes out of St. Michael's Church? What sound?
Right now. How many?
Oh, you want to go to that question? How many people are here? It's always the number 5. That's what they tell us. How many people are here?
Asking for help.
Henry, we've asked a lot of questions.
2,000.
What do you want? There's not 2,000 people here. Give us something a little bit more specific. She's been under almost 7 minutes, just so everybody knows. It's not going to feel like that to her when she comes out, just so you guys know. She'll tell you probably 2 to 3 minutes.
People improve their status
Henry, be more specific.
every time.
We've asked about your family, your wife, your son. Any of those details that you can tell
Big.
us, we'll take.
He has it. It's not quite perfected. It's not quite perfected.
This whole session isn't quite perfected.
We have each other.
Tell us your wife's name.
Pops up.
Did she ever marry again after you died?
Practice Santeria.
Did your wife marry again? You're not happy about that. You got real quiet. Henry, I'm only going to give Victoria another minute here.
Beautiful.
Okay? But what was her name?
Barbara.
No.
A host.
What was your wife's name?
The winds. The people. Write my name.
We're asking for your wife's name.
Be quiet.
No.
Americans hunting. You just crossed the path.
It's probably time we call.
You're no god.
Right. Do me a favor, tap Mom's leg very lightly. Don't scare her. No harder than
Homemade.
Go ahead and tap her. She's not getting the point. Just go ahead and tap her leg.
Alternative.
A little harder. She's not getting the
His
point.
heart.
Oh. See when she's holding his hand.
Go ahead and tap your wife out. Let's get her out of there. Pull up your... Go ahead and pull them up.
That was a terrifying experience.
What?
That was a terrifying experience.
He was trying to tap you out, was what he was trying to do with your leg. That's
Oh.
I'm sorry, I forgot to warn you that a family member was going to tap you out by using your leg.
I'm
so,
sorry.
how long do you think you were under?
2 minutes?
Yeah, pretty much exactly what he said you would think.
10.
It was more like
No
11.
way. There's absolutely no way.
We had lots of questions.
Absolutely
We asked
no way.
More than 20
It's all on
questions.
film for you.
Yeah.
Go ahead and stop your video. Kind of give it a... You're under what's a Tesla here.
When you guys were over there, I was listening and I heard.
Ooh. Oh, my lower back is
Yeah,
just
my back is...
completely seized. Like, I'm gonna need help getting into the car. I'm to the point where I'm like, I gotta get going home. I feel horrible. My hurting. Oh, what did it say?
I couldn't understand it.
I didn't.
I'm looking forward to how we're going to feel tomorrow after another night in our wonderful hotel bed.
Oh, God. It's gonna kill my back. Oh, I haven't felt this bad since we were in Europe and walking on cobblestones for days.
Be your regard. Me too.
Does it toll every 30 minutes?
It's 11:30.
He said Goose Creek. That's where we're from. I wonder what that is. This building. Should I stop it?
Let's go sit on the bench over there.
Oh, God. I'm gonna stop it.